On behalf of the team at SD Bullion, we wish a Happy New Year to all of you and yours. The year 2021 is poised to be a precious one for both silver and gold. Fireworks in upside price action could set off this Q1 2021. Here we'll examine but a few of the short and medium term drivers upcoming. Hello there, compliments of SDBullion.com. This is James Anderson with your SD Bullion market update. Before we get ramping into recent news and market events to come, be sure to smash the like button so we can help other like-minded bullion bulls get this information. This past week, President Trump signed the latest round of stimulus, which will afford 600 fiat Federal Reserve note checks to U.S. citizens who qualify. Those funds should be arriving shortly. Both spot prices for gold and silver ended the year in very positive technical territories, which we will cover in further detail shortly. But first, the often quoted numeraire or measurement for the value of gold and silver day to day, month to month respectively, had another year of debasement, and not merely versus the precious monetary metals, but also in relative terms versus other competing fiat currencies. More weakness seen as dollar posts worst year since 2017. Wait, let me make a quick correction on that. More weakness seen as fiat Federal Reserve note posts worst year since 2017. New York. The dollar posted its biggest yearly loss since 2017 on Thursday, capping off a manic year that saw the currency serve as safe haven in March, when panic over the spread of COVID-19 in the United States peaked, before dropping on unprecedented Federal Reserve stimulus. The fiat greenback soared to a 3-year high of 102.99 against a basket of other fiat currencies in March, before ending the year at 88.96, down 6.77% on the year and 12.65% from its March high. I expect the dollar to depreciate further over the next few years as the Fed keeps rates at zero while maintaining its bloated balance sheet, said Kevin Boshier, Chief Investment Officer at asset manager Ravenscoft, as he told clients. The magnitude of the twin deficits dwarfs any other major economy, he said. And later in the article, they state, investors are also watching runoff elections in Georgia for 2 Senate seats next Tuesday. That will determine which party controls the Senate. If the Republicans win one or both of the Georgia seats, they will retain a slim majority in the chamber and can block Biden's legislative goals and judicial nominees. They didn't go along to say if both Democrats win, Biden and the new administration will have carte blanche, and the amount of stimulus and easing and various other programs that will come about with no opposition should be very bullish for gold and silver. So keep an eye on the election runoffs this coming week. Tuesday, probably the results will be later on in the week. If somehow the Democrats were able to win both those Senate seats, I would expect gold and silver to boost very, very highly. Moving along, this is a monthly fiat USD price chart for gold, beginning the year near the 1900 level. After now many months of consolidation, gold appears poised to possibly begin making a run for new highs soon. Here is the annual gold price chart covering the full fiat currency era, now nearly 50 years in the making. If you look hard enough, you can see intra-year price wicks reflecting the top and bottom spot prices reached in each respective year. The color red reflects a year of loss in fiat USD terms. The color blue represents a year of performance gains for gold over the fiat Fed note. This is the annual silver price chart, where again, intra-year price wicks reflect top and bottom silver spot prices reached in each respective year. The color red reflects a year of loss in fiat USD terms. The color blue represents a year of performance gain for silver over the fiat Fed note. Turning to silver's monthly chart over this 5-decade full fiat currency era, we see a cup handle pattern forming over a 40-year time frame, beginning with silver's run at 50 per troy ounce in early 1980, then in early spring 2011. Over the last few weeks on this SD Bullion channel, we have covered why many commodity analysts are publicly calling for silver to make another run at 50 within this year, 2021. While no one knows the future, the silver finished 2020 very strong and sits above the key 26 per troy ounce threshold. Both the silver derivative options market and fast talking heads, courtesy of CNBC are communicating large bullish bets are being placed on silver derivatives for Q1 2021. Following clip is courtesy of CNBC.
Welcome back to Fast Money. Silver surging again today, now on a 3-day winning streak and up about 50% this year. And Bullion saw one trade in the options market that could signal even bigger gains in 2021. Bullion, what did you see?
Yeah, so taking a look at SLV, you're seeing calls outpace puts 3-1 after being as imbalanced as 4-1 in earlier parts of the trading session. Taking a look at the option implied volatility, options are implying about a 17% move in either direction between now and March expiry. And the trade that stuck out to me, about 10,000, there was a buyer of 10,000 SLV March 28-34 call spreads paying about 70 cents. So you're risking 70 here to make about $6 or about 8.5 to 1. Those are remarkable risk rewards. Now for that, the caveat, the flip side to that, the trade-off is that your break even is very distant here. So about 28.70 or 117% of current spot. I think this is a momentum trade. You've got 3 months of time value at your side. Expect this to be a momentum trade where the guy actually takes some of this off into momentum higher.
All right, so it's quite that's quite a trade on momentum, up 39% since March. You know, what's interesting is that we just literally got a headline citing CFTC data saying that speculators raised their net short U.S. dollar bets to the highest since September, Guy, which obviously is helping to fuel this overall trade. Do you think that silver could have that much momentum?
I do, and typically I'm concerned when everybody's on that side of the boat in terms of the short dollar trade, but sometimes everybody's right. Sometimes the herd is right. And in the form of the dollar, I do think that. And just go back and look how shallow that rally was the day the market tanked, I think it was last Monday, and look at how it rallied and came right back off. In my opinion, the dollar's going lower. I'm with those shorts. I think it should be lowered. Citibank put out a note a month and a half ago saying they saw a 20% decline in the U.S. dollar in 2021. I agree. And I think Bullion's trade is going to be spot on in terms of what happens in the silver market.
A little bit of negative news hit the precious metals press wire this past week, and it is bullion education related, so I'd like to give you a little bit of an understanding of what it was. Headline reads, CFTC partners with 30 states to bring in a sweeping precious metals fraud action. On September 22nd, 2020, the CFTC, along with 30 state securities regulators, filed a historic joint enforcement action against 2 precious metals dealers and their companies for perpetuating a $185 million fiat Fed note scheme to defraud over 1,600 persons nationwide. The scheme, which targeted the vulnerable elderly population in particular, induced the victims to purchase gold and silver at inflated prices, averaging from 100 to 300% over the spot price. According to the complaint filed in federal court in the Northern District of Texas, from at least September 2017 through the present, various defendants at Chase Metals, Metals.com, etc., targeted elderly and newly retired persons with little experience in precious metals and deceived them into transferring funds into their retirement savings to self-directed individual retirement accounts. The defendants lied to the investors about the actual value of the precious metals, charged grossly inflated prices or markups that bore no relationship to the prevailing market price, and falsely represented the precious metals market as a safe and conservative investment. Defendants not only targeted a vulnerable population of investors, they also designed and employed a particular egregious method to solicit vulnerable investors by first establishing a relationship of trust through mutual political and religious affinity, and then manipulating that relationship by instilling fear in the investors. The complaint also alleges that the defendants falsely represented the amount of fees they received from the investors, etc., etc. This is obviously allegations and a case that was brought against this company, and this is not the first time in our industry. There's a lot of potential fraud. And at sdbullion.com, under the Resources tab on the far right-hand side, you can hover your mouse to find a section called Investing Guide, where you can find a myriad of free article posts I wrote years back in hopes to help our customer base avoid painful mistakes and alleged criminal acts in the worst sections of our industry. If you have anyone interested in learning about precious metals, that section of our website could assist bullion buyers in making prudent decisions. I'll leave a link in the show notes below where you can find that page. Finally, I personally want to thank you all for this last year and a bit more of my making SD Bullion market updates. Your energy and appreciation for our work means much to myself and our team. We have a fun treat for you to check out if you somehow missed our most popular videos from this past year, 2020. I'll leave a link for the top 7 most popular gold and silver videos for 2020 for you to check out on sdbullion.com. Check out some of those videos if you might have missed them along the way. A lot of the content is still evergreen, and it also helped to go and look in the past and see how we have approached things. And that is it. I will leave you with a nice visualization of getting beyond the past and looking out to the future. Take very great care of yourselves and those that you love. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to give our video a thumbs up. To keep getting bullion-related news and industry insights, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Finally, hit that alert button so you know when we publish fresh content. Give us your thoughts in the comments below. Let us know what you think and which topics you want to hear more about.